Alright, so hello everyone. My name is Bernie. This is Ashley, and we're the moderators for this focus group. The purpose of this focus group is to find out about student satisfaction and involvement at LU Post. So we're going to be going around the room asking questions regarding that. We would like to just start off with you introduce yourself one by one with your name, your year, your major, if you're a dorm or commuter, and whether or not you're a transfer student. Okay? If you could just please speak clearly and just speak one at a time, so that way, you know, we're writing a paper about this, so we need to analyze your answers and everything. So we'll start right here and we'll go clockwise, okay? So your name, your year, your major, whether you're a dorm or commuter, and a transfer student.
My name's Adriana Alvarez. I'm a junior journalism major, and I dorm in Brookville, 208. And I started freshman year, not a transfer.
Okay.
My name is Aaron Pearson. I'm a sociology major. I am a resident, unfortunately. I'm not a transfer student. I've been here since my freshman year. And what are the questions?
You're here.
Oh, I'm a junior.
My name is Audra Boateng. I am a senior. I've been here since my freshman year, and I'm a psychology major.
Commuter.
Oh yeah, and I dorm here.
My name is Meredith Minsky. I am a transfer. I think I'm technically like a junior. I have 4 more semesters left. I'm a commuter, and
okay. My name is Paul Callis. I'm a freshman, and I am a media arts major, and I commute here.
My name is Taste. I am a sophomore. I'm a psychology major, and I just transferred here. This is my first semester.
Okay, thank you.
So just for warm up, we're going to go around the room and ask, what were your expectations of college? So, Aaron, you can go first.
I expected college to be a place where you gain independence. I expected it to be some place where, you know, you find yourself. I mean, you find yourself in high school, but college you're by yourself, so you feel like realize who you are more. So, I expected it to be. I expected people to be mature. I did, and I psyched myself out because no idea is mature. However, I expected. I don't know. I expected to meet lifelong friends. I watch too much reality TV, so I figured, you know, you enjoy lifelong friends here. I expected memories for a lifetime.
Meredith?
I expected like typical college when I went away to Albany, but coming here I expected like it's more like a job, and it's like exactly what I expected now.
Sure. I expected to have the chance to work with other people that were interested in the same stuff that I did, and we can accomplish something. It's not really working out as much because people are like so concerned about themselves, and I don't know, it's hard to get groups like this together and actually get something done.
So what did you think contributes to a positive college experience?
Friends, honestly, because, well, good friends. Because without friendship, college is kind of boring, and it does really just become like tasking, like it's just class all the time. There's not really a sense of community or like friendship. It's just you going to class and coming back. But and what else? Good classes with professors that can actually teach you something, because unfortunately a lot of professors don't teach you anything.
So what do you think goes into like a really good teacher? Like what exactly were you expecting from the teacher that you would qualify them as being good?
Well, to have a good class period, you need first a good subject, like a good. But I feel like any professor can make a class interesting. It depends on them. Like, it has to be engaging. They have to actually involve themselves with the students. You can't just teach from a textbook or from slides, because then you lose the people in the class's interest, and they're just doing other things instead of focusing on you. asking questions.
So do you feel like the majority of LIU Post professors embody that, or they don't? Or
Yes. Yes. Especially with Blackboard now, the slides just go from in class to online, and it's like you have to teach yourself basically. They just read from the slide, and if you don't understand something, you just have to go read the slide again. So it's like you really don't have a professor who's active, and a lot of classes are really big, so they don't know you as a person. They just know you as a number.
okay.
I agree partially with Ottawa, but then again partially I disagree. But there are some professors here who do make it their business to get to know their students and give you outside information, and they don't just lecture. They actually, teach a personal experience. So it depends on, I guess it depends on the major you have and the things you know that interest you. Because I feel like, I believe that if you don't know how to study, you learn by memorizing what happens in class. So if your teacher says something that engages you, you're going to remember that as opposed to just studying. So it depends on the professor here. But like you said, there is a lot of professors that folks who just lecture and show slides and don't feel like you have a place in the classroom.
I've noticed, like, from being in the big classes too, it is like that. You have to make it work for you, however it is, and go to the professor if you have to. But now, as you get further in your major, and the classes are smaller, I'm noticing like personal attention, getting to know my professors, which I like so much better.
All right. Why? Anyone can answer this. Just one at a time. So, like, anyone who wants to answer this. Why did you choose to enroll at LU Post?
For me personally, like when I looked at other schools, the classes weren't as specific. They were very general. It wasn't like you were really going to be able to jump into your major and learn a lot about your field. And like when I looked at like the different courses here, there was very specific things. Like right now I'm in a relationship class. Like that's awesome because you get to see like in psychology how your relationships are so important, and it just focuses on that one thing.
So they have like a lot of specialty classes or something.
I also like how Post, like she said, like there's specialty classes within your major, but then there's other classes that you can take that connects to your major you wouldn't even think that it did. Like I took theater last semester, and also took English 7, and surprisingly, I was learning about Antigone in English class, and then theater, surprisingly, was hosting an Antigone play. And it just made it seem so much better because I watched the play, they filmed a performance here, and the fact that I had read the book within class, it allowed me to appreciate the play more. So I feel like Pose, as a community, it brings people together. Like, that's what made me like this school so much. I visited here, and I didn't want to go too far from home, and I didn't want to stay home. And being Post only 45 minutes from my house, and when I visited the campus, I felt
so location was important.
And I liked the environment, the way it felt here. It was homey and comforting, and it wanted you to branch out. And it's big, but it's not too big where you don't have a place here.
Well, did financial aid or scholarship affect your decision to come to Post or to attend college as a whole?
For me, definitely. I'm a HEAP student, so.
Can you tell what HEAP is?
HEAP is a program for low-income students who can't maybe afford to go away to a university. So HEAP, there's like certain things I have to do throughout a semester, and they pay for most of my tuition, and I get $300 book grant money. So for me, just the fact that my application was accepted through HEAP, I knew that all the other schools I had applied to, I wouldn't get what I was going to get here at Post. So my decision had always been Post from the day I found out that I was a HEAP student.
Well, did financial aid affect you in any way? Scholarship?
It was a big factor, comparing what this school would offer versus that one. But for me, it came down really to the quality of the staff. And some of them are really dedicated, and that's what really drew me into coming Post.
Anyone else? Financial aid?
Financial aid actually gave me a lot of financial aid money. I was ineligible for HEOP only because I don't really know why. I thought I applied to HEOP, and then for some reason I got accepted regular admission. I didn't question it, whatever. It happened, and they actually gave me a lot of money for this. I guess because where I did come from is like a low-income neighborhood, so I got money for that. And then my high school grades and things like that. So it depends on, I guess, as to your financial standing.
So, what would everyone say? What role would financially play? Like a minimal role, or like
Big role.
Big role for you? Anyone else?
Not as big of a role,
Yeah.
but it was definitely like a helpful thing.
Okay. Okay, great.
I feel like financially comes down to, yeah, sometimes people take out a lot of loans,
Mhm.
but if you really want to go somewhere,
Mhm.
you'll take the loan out so you can get the
Yeah.
appropriate education that you want. Like he said, there was a lot of staff here who he felt like were notable. So he came here, and that's one of my reasons too. I was actually afraid of going to college because of financial reasons.
Yeah.
And my aunt goes to tell me, go get your education. If you have to pay the loan back, pay it back. But at least you can say you went to school and you did what you wanted to do.
So this question, I would prefer if everyone could answer this, just because it's a very important question. It's how would you describe your experience at Post so far? You don't have to go very in depth, but just briefly go around.
I guess for me, it's been very different. I'm from upstate, so it was like a big culture shock for me. I'm not used to so many people. I'm not used to public transportation. It was still sometimes I have a hard time adjusting to certain things just because I've never experienced it.
It seems like a lot of people here are from close proximity. Would you say, does it provide you with the real college experience, like what you would think college is like?
I mean, from the town that I grew up in, and then coming here, I feel like I've definitely received a college experience because, like I said, I've never been around so many people. I've never been.
Yeah.
So I think that my time here has been worth it.
Okay.
I don't have a word to describe my time at Post. I appreciate it. My time at Post because there's people that I've met who I honestly don't know how to survive 20 years of life without meeting them. it is. You grow a lot of personal bonds with people here because you feel as though once people accept you, it's like, okay, you wanted to know them better, you want to hang out more, things like that. And I'm involved on campus. I do a lot of work to help, the campus life and things like that. So it actually puts me out there, helps me be a leader, and feel like I'm being involved on my campus. So in that aspect, I like being here.
Could you just briefly, state like what activities you're in? Just you don't have to explain them.
I'm a part of NAACP Club.
Okay.
Me too.
I work with Associates for Campus Programming.
Okay.
I work with Investors Life. I'm not an RA, but I work down there, so I
Okay.
get to get in contact with all the RAs.
So you're
and
very
stuff.
active on campus.
Yeah, and it allows me to feel as though I'm helping in a sense.
Mhm.
Like I'm making things better because freshmen come in, they don't really like it here. So being that I already was a freshman, I know what to expect and I
Mhm.
help them out. So in that sense, I like being at Post, and then the major that I chose, my professors, I like that. But then there's times, when things get a little rough. And it gets a little crazy because you live all the time.
Mhm.
And that aspect, I don't like it
Mhm.
because the campus is so small, you don't have a lot of privacy.
Mhm.
That's what I think I don't like about Post, is that I don't really have a lot of privacy.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the privacy thing because it's like, like commuters, like let's say like if they happen to run into a problem here, they can always go home.
Mhm.
This is our home, so it's like if you have a problem here, you're stuck here. Unless you want to go home, you still have to come back. Like this is where you live. But I mean, my experience at Post has been. I mean, I've been here for 4 years now. It's been like 4 years too long. But I mean, it's been okay. The first 2 years were like amazing, and then everybody started to leave because of financial problems. Like most of the people that I started off my class with are not here now, and most of the people I know now I've met either last year or this year.
Mhm.
The people that I actually hang out with.
So would you say that the moving of your friends, those friends leaving, affecting your experience here negatively? Like, would you say that's what made your experience those first 2 years?
Yeah, like the people that were here, I feel like Post had more of a sense of community. Like they worked harder to make everybody happy, and now everybody has their own little cliques, and it's like it's not family anymore. It's not as family oriented. It's not about everybody anymore.
It's just because of
Yeah.
Right?
As because I was 21 when I transferred here, and like I didn't really have any friends. Like I have 2 friends, but they're not in my classes. So, it's been like normally I'm very social, and here I just don't really like talk to that many people. So it's a little weird for me, but I'm getting a little better, I think.
So do you think like you not being as social affects your experience like in a negative
I would
way,
have-
or do you? I mean, you're still satisfied with your experience?
I'm satisfied, like education wise, because I feel like I'm doing really well and I'm happy. But I definitely think having like friends would make it much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can be friends.
Paul?
My experience has definitely been a roller coaster. I was not expecting everything that's happened at Post. I mean, we've had a faculty strike, a shooting, a
Stabbing.
professor serving alcohol in class. And
Oh yeah.
It was a stab.
Do you?
He wasn't
Has
good.
that given you a negative look or like feeling about Post, or
I just think it was like
just
a lot of coincidence that it all happened at the same time, along with the rebranding. But there's a lot of like opportunities to get involved. Like I'm involved with the newspaper and the television station. It's going sort of where I want it to be and finding out where I want to go.
So being involved is making it better.
Yeah.
Being a transfer student from a community college, which is all community students, this has definitely been a better experience. Where the school is more of a community, the school itself is a community, and it's a lot easier to socialize with people. It's not like you go to school, you go home, you take care of your life. Because there are people that live here, and there are people that are so invested in the school that do 1,000,002 things with the school. It's easy to get involved in things too. Like every club in the beginning of the semester, even though it's January, it's the middle of the year. Every club's very willing to have more people join and see what you're interested in.
So how do you socialize on campus? Like how do you get involved with the community?
I joined the radio station, and then also there's things like just talking to people in class, and like in one of my classes, a lot of people that are like the same major as me, so there's like a common ground.
And I feel like what she said, she's right. There's a lot of welcoming people at Post. They don't judge you. They're not. It's really nothing to be ashamed of at Post. You can come outside and you're looking like Don King, and people won't laugh at you. No,
I mean, they will, but-
they'll laugh. They'll laugh, but it's
serious.
accepted. They'll accept you. Like, okay, we know. Well, it's like for me, I curl my hand this big. Like, well, there goes Aaron. You know, it just happened. And I feel as though Ada was saying her first 2 years at Post that she felt like she had more fun, I guess, more of a social life. But I feel like those first 2 years, you're 18 or 19 years old. Like, education is important to you, yes, because you wouldn't be in college if it wasn't important. But you're still at that stage, like, when you want to have fun and you want to go out with your friends. Then when you get 20, 21 years old, you're like, okay, I have my fun. It's overrated now. I'll still go out here and there, but I want to stay in my room. I watch some TV. I want to do some homework. I think your what's what I was looking for? Your interests change a little bit as you get older. Because you realize I'm getting older, I'm going to graduate soon. I have to make the transition to the real world. And it can't happen overnight.
So would you say your experience is stacking up against your expectations of what it would be
I
like?
think my experience is helping me become an adult. I think it's let me realize that as I go into the real world, things that I expect to happen isn't going to happen the way I expect it to happen. I'm going to get hit with curveballs. I'm going to get hit with roller coasters. I'm going to get hit with things like this, and I just have to learn how to deal with it and then prioritize and schedule my life out so it doesn't break me down. And keep good friends in my life.
So everybody here is over the freshman level, so can someone describe what their typical day is like at Post, like classes and schedule-wise?
And activities, if you're
Activities.
involved in any activities.
Well, I broadcast at the radio station, so if I have to do the broadcasting, I usually wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I write script until 10, and then I get ready and go to class from 11 to 3:30, and I have class during common hour. And then from 3:30 to 6, I am on air at the radio station. And then from 6 until about 12 or 1, I do homework. And that is my life every single day. Not including the stuff I have to do, like, oh, I gotta go to Bursar, I have to go to registrar, I have a meeting for HEOP, I have to to do this, I have to do that.
I have to eat.
Yeah, sometimes you don't
How
have
do you
time.
feel
Definitely
like?
forget to eat something.
How do you feel like that affects your experience at Post? Do you-
Honestly, I feel like I miss a lot, and I feel like I always tell my roommate,
Mhm.
like, listen to all those people outside, like, sitting at the picnic table drinking on a Wednesday. I want to be out there. But, like, I have to read, like, a whole book or I have to read a whole New York Times for a test every Tuesday. So, like,
So do you feel like the academics at LIU Post are challenging? You know, would you say?
I just feel
Or it's a
like,
lot of work.
I feel
or-
it's a lot of outside work than what I had expected. Like now, you know, teachers always say like, oh, you know, we don't do that much classwork. No, but you give me like 10-page papers, you give me 3 books, and you want me to go to 4 different meetings. So it's more outside work.
But do you feel like you're getting your worth as far as education goes? by the-
Education-wise, I feel like I'll be the smartest person in the world.
Okay.
You were gonna say something like
I forgot what the question was.
that? Your typical day at
Typical
Post.
day.
Oh, well, on my busy days, I'm not in like any like, I'm not in any outside like groups or anything. So like on my busy days, I like start class at like 9 and end at 5, and I don't really have that. Everything is so hectic kind of schedule, so like I can't really relate to Adrian because I really have much to do after class except sleep, and I like take a nap like every day. So I mean, I'm well rested. I just took a nap.
So to give you the life of my roommate, this is my life. I'm taking 18 credits this semester.
Me too.
Okay, I'm taking 18 credits. After class is over, which is typically at 5, right? I have a job on campus, so I go to work, and if it's either I'm at work at 9 in the morning or I'm there at 3:30 to 5. And that's Wednesday through Friday. So my life gets hectic from starting Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday is a little okay, but I have to go to SGA meetings for my club. I have e-board meetings. I just did the fashion show, so I have practice every Monday and Wednesday night from 9 to 11 o'clock. So Tuesday through Friday is my life is crazy. Like I don't get to my room half the time until about 11 o'clock every night because I have to go eat. I have to run to this meeting, or someone's having a breakdown and need my help, or like it. I don't complain about it because I'm used to it now, but I feel like though as you get older, like I don't think I've been to any program this semester because I've been so busy. I usually go my freshman sophomore year. I was able to go to different clubs and view like their like programs on campus.
So you feel like because you have to work, you don't have enough time to get involved in this campus?
I'm involved, but I feel like I'm only involved in the things, my clubs. I feel
Okay.
like I can't be supportive to the other clubs
Okay.
because I'm so busy now. Because my freshman sophomore year, I went to everything with like anybody. I went because I was so supportive. Like, even like the corniest programs I would go to, no lie. Now it's like, oh, I missed that. I'm sorry, because I have to catch like a 20-minute nap, and then like I try so hard to catch a nap, and then when I get my nap, it's like yes, and then when I don't, it's like no. And my roommate's like, you always leaving me. You're never here with me. I'm so sad. And it's like it's not my fault.
Yeah.
But you're a transfer, so is your workload?
Personally, this semester's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think a lot of my classes, I'm still doing some of my core credits, so they're a little bit more simplistic. I thought it was going to be like 20 times worse than it is though. And it's definitely not as bad. And everything's very well explained, which makes it a lot easier. It's not like I'm sitting there like, oh my god, do they want this, this, or this? It's very
So
stated.
your professors make their expectations known?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Paul?
Well, I'm a freshman and I'm crazy maxing it out at 18 credits. I juggle 2 jobs, and for me it's really hard to find time to be on campus. And for the first like 3 weeks of the semester in the fall, I really felt like there was like this really big disconnect. And until I started to get involved and switch my schedule around, I was able to stay on campus like right now, I'm here till 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
From 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm here 12 hours.
Wow.
And
How do you feel that affects your experience at Post?
it definitely enriches it because there's not one single minute during the day that I have where I have to say be 2-3 places at once. And I'm like, okay, at 15 minutes I can do it. And it's just like I have no downtime.
Yeah.
And I think that prepares you for the real world because people let them know what to expect and you can get it done.
And for you, Meredith?
Well, this semester I'm here Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 till 3:30. Today is different, but like normally I leave right after, and I actually like days like today, although it was really long because I was also here at like 8 for class. Actually, it makes me enjoy the campus more. I just like to be here actually. So, yeah.
Definitely think like it was like going to work afterwards. It like kind of maybe it takes away from it a little bit. So it's like you have to worry about like going from this place to this place, which is two totally different aspects of like life.
Yeah.
From going from one situation to the next.
I feel like post, they try to make life comfortable for commuters. Because, like you said, there's a disconnect between commuters and residents because there's things that happen on campus that commuters will never know about because they're home. It's not bad that they're home, it's just different that they're home.
Well, I have a question for you. What do you think about Common Hour? What does everyone think about Common Hour?
Can I speak?
Yeah,
She said
you
one at
can
a
go
time.
ahead.
No, he said one at a time.
I feel so strongly about this. You guys have like no idea.
Yes, let's hear your.
All right,
Let's
keep in
hear.
mind she's a senior. Keep in mind she's a senior. Okay, my freshman year, we didn't have Common Hour.
Okay.
All right? Then we got Common Hour. And in the very beginning, I despised it, like detested this thing. For the simple fact that, why are you breaking my day? I get out of class at 2 o'clock and I'll be done. I take my nap, my life was good. Then I realized as I got busier, Common Hour was a blessing to me. Because either I ate or I went to sleep.
It's important.
So now I appreciate it, and it's a little bit better. When it first started, I think everything was packed. It was like Hill was packed,
Do
when it
you
was packed.
feel like it gives you time to get involved in student activities and clubs?
It does. It does a little bit, a tiny bit. If
Yeah.
you're not extremely busy already, it gives you a little bit of time. Unfortunately for me, Common Hour is the only time I get to eat.
Yeah.
The only time.
All right. I definitely want to hear like what everyone else. What do you,
But
I despise Common Hour.
and why is that?
When it first, I went 2 years without it. When it, well, 1.5. It started spring semester. Right?
No, 2 years.
2 years? Yeah.
Okay.
The person who was pushing for it, me and him sat in my room and I argued with him and said, do not push for this stupidity. Like, do not do this. The reason why I hate Common Hour so much is that it makes you lazy as hell. You go, no matter where you're
Why
going.
does it make you lazy?
No matter where you go, there's a line. If you need to get something done in Cumble, there's a line. If you need to go to Winnick to get food or Hillwood to get food, there is a long line in Hillwood and there's a long line in Winnick. You can stand on the line in Winnick for 35 minutes with no food. And it's like, after you eat, what happens? When you get full, you get tired. And don't tell me that you haven't missed class after Common Hour. Everybody has missed class after Common Hour because you get so tired. And when you fall asleep, if you're taking a nap, who wants an hour nap? You want to sleep longer. Another reason to miss class. You just get lazy. And it's like you have to move from this side of campus to the other side. I mean,
But do you feel like it gives you a chance though to interact with other students, or do you feel like?
I mean, that is true. It does, but I feel like it makes your day longer than it has to be. Like now that people when people could get out of class at like 4 or something. Now we're getting out at 5. And in the wintertime when it was dark outside and it was cold, it's like, okay, now I have to walk from one side of campus to another in the dark. I mean, it's a lot of factors that make me I really don't like it at all. And I wish it would go back to the way it was, but it's not because commuters seem to love it. And I was speaking to somebody about it and they were like, oh, Common Hour is so great. I'm like, why do you guys like this thing?
What about from the commuter aspects?
I don't like it.
No, you don't like it? Why don't you like it?
Because, well, when I didn't have anything to do, I just feel like I didn't have to eat by myself, or now I just kill time and do work, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Even say if you were involved in say the campus radio station or something, you don't feel like it would be an asset to have.
I don't know. I'm better at doing one thing at a time. So I'd rather after classes than do something.
Paul?
I love it because with my hectic schedule, I'm coming and going, and it's like a set time where an activity would meet instead of saying an odd hour at 8 o'clock at night or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because I know for a fact that I would not be able to attend, and that's where the disconnect from campus would start.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with satisfaction questions. So for somebody that transferred, how does Post compare to the other school that you went to?
I definitely like it like 110 times more. Here the professors are a lot more invested in the students. At my other school, they had like some of my professors had 2 other jobs
Do
on
you
top
want
of
to tell
teaching.
us what other school you went to?
Suffolk Community College.
Okay.
Like on top of that, they'd have 2 other jobs. Some of them didn't have office hours at all. This is, like I said earlier, it's definitely more of a community. I actually like have the common hour because it's like everyone's doing something. At Suffolk Community, common hour was once a week. If you were in a lab, it went right through common hour. Clubs were at 4 o'clock when night classes would start. Some clubs met while labs were going on. It was like you could never be on common ground with anyone else in your class. Everyone was in like 20 different majors, and like I met like maybe 2 psychology majors at Suffolk, like who were definitely going to go for that. But I met like a million other 2 like criminal justice people. It's definitely more united.
You mentioned the professors. Do you feel like the professors have an invested interest in your success here versus Suffolk?
I guess I think so. Like they're most of the professors I have here are in the field, or they're getting like I have a professor who's in a doctorate program. He's going to be in the field. Another one of my professors, like she's a marriage counselor. Thank you. And like that's what she knows. That's what she does. It's you get their personal experience. My acting professor, he is an actor. So you're getting their experience, you're learning from what they've already learned, and they want you to learn from their mistakes or what they've already been through.
Another transfer student?
What
school did you go to?
SUNY Albany.
Okay.
So far, like, education-wise, I like this much better. It's only my 2nd semester here, but I feel like the professors, I do feel like, actually, like, know who I am and care, and especially Professor Dress, like, I feel like she's really invests in everybody when she's there.
So how would you compare the 2 schools, SUNY Albany and this school? Like, what were the positives of Post, versus Albany, and just...
Okay, well, one positive is that Professor Dress here, she pretty much forces you to go to speakers and everything, and I don't know if I necessarily would have went on my own, and I love, it's so good for me that I do that. It kind of, motivates me. And
any negatives, like that the other school was better?
It was just different because I lived there, and I started as a freshman, so it's really hard to compare. But but professor-wise, there I didn't get the same feeling.
Okay.
Well, this is my only school I've ever been to, but I have friends who go to Albany, and they have told me that the classes are so large.
Most of them are. I didn't get far enough in a major to get to small classes.
Because one of my friends from here, she came here first, and then she transferred to Albany, and her name is Grace, and she goes to tell me that she hates all her professors. They don't know who she is. She doesn't feel like she has a place there. She stayed for 1 semester and came right back to Post. She didn't like it. Not saying that the school was bad. I guess the way she felt here, like she was used to it for one way already, and she didn't want to go back to the large classrooms, I guess.
Well, I was there for 4 semesters, and I can't remember a teacher. Like, I don't remember. And I've only been here for 2 semesters, and I already have, good experiences, good, helpful.
Thank you. So how would you rate the quality of the education you're getting here at Post? Like, if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, how would you rate it?
Well, I was a biology major before I switched to psychology. And when I was a biology major, I would say, the quality of my education, I would honestly rate it at, a 2. But when I switched to psych, I would definitely put it at, 4, almost 5, but 4 because some of the professors I've met I just detest. But most of them have been, really good. I've actually learned things. In biology, I felt like the classes were so, but then again, I was starting, so I wasn't really in small classes. But the classes were either so difficult, it was the what's that word? The difficultness is not a word. What's the word?
Intensity? I guess, of the classes didn't match the help that the professor gave, like, after class. And it's like, if this class is just so hard for me, I mean, I felt like I wasn't alone because so many people didn't know what was going on. So it's like, if you're not going to help me after class, like, if you're not going to supplement the education that I'm supposed to be getting in the class, I'm not going to be able to pass it the way I want to. So it's like, that's why I switched majors, because I just felt like I wasn't getting what I needed. And then when I switched to psych, everything changed, and like, we created beautiful. And
So outside help or assistance is important to you in your college education?
if the class is that difficult
If
that
it's
you
difficult,
need it, yeah.
okay.
I was a poli-sci major before I changed to sociology, and I liked my first poli-sci professor, but I didn't like my second one. And I realized that I was cheating myself because I was good at the subject, but I didn't enjoy it. And then I took sociology, an intro to social class, just to take it, and I fell in love. And then I continued on with taking the classes, and I realized this is what I wanted to do. And the professors within that major, they make it their business to get to know you. They make it their business to find out your interests and what you want to do with social, because social is such a broad topic. You can practically do anything with it. So they make it. They want to know what your interests are, and they're willing to help you out and go out with you. Like during the what was happening last semester on Wall Street, the Occupy Wall Street. My professor had took trips with the class down there to experience it. Like, there's just so much that I like those, because not only does the professors go out their way to help you, but there's the learning center, there's the learning resources. There's so much here that Post offers you for extra help. They don't want you to just succeed on your own. They want to be the reason why you succeed.
Well, Adri, how do you feel about the courses that you're taking in journalism?
I don't know. I guess for me, they're very time consuming. I don't really want to use the word like challenging, but they're time consuming to the point where, like, you know, I've had professors say to me, like, oh, if this was a job, you know, you don't get an extension on paper, or if I say it's due in an hour, it's due in an hour, like, okay, but as a job, that's all you do all day. You know, I go to work, I'm in clubs, I have a life. It's gotten to the point where, like, you know, on my weekends, I pick one day out of the weekend to actually have fun, and the rest I do homework. I do homework from Thursday till Sunday morning.
Do you feel like those courses, though, will prepare you for the real world in the future?
I'll definitely be prepared, and I'll definitely have a very good sense of organization and time management. But it's like, okay, I'm going to leave college to go in and, you know, work my butt off. But yet at the same time, I don't get to really have fun while I'm here because I'm working my butt off.
So if you felt like you had more time to do these other activities and the coursework wasn't so intense, would you feel more satisfied with your experience here?
Yeah, because like I said, I feel like I miss out on a lot because I'm always unbooked.
How do any of you guys feel about post-orientation program, and how did it affect you during your first years here?
Did anyone participate in it?
Did anyone go to their orientation?
So those of you that participated in it.
Orientation was cool, I guess. I don't really feel like it made a difference, honestly. Well, because I visited the school before my orientation to, you know, like when I was applying to see, like, you know, campuses and stuff. So when I got here, I had a feeling that if I was accepted, I wanted to go here. Because the campus just was beautiful, and it was springtime when I came here, so it was like all the trees were in bloom, and I was like, oh my God, it's so pretty here.
So you had already made your decision prior
Yeah,
to
it was
the
kind of
program.
like I really liked it, and it was small, and I didn't want to go to a really big school because I felt like you'd lose your sense of yourself there because it was so big. But at orientation, I met people that I'm still friends with now, but I also met people that I don't speak to. So it's like I feel like you meet people and you guys are all like, oh my God, you're coming here too. Oh my God, I'm a freshman too. But then when you get to know them, it's either you stick together or you drift away. I don't feel like it makes a difference.
Do you
really.
also feel like it introduced you to the school, like their services, their resources, like maybe the library, academic careers?
Is it good informationally?
It was, but they make
It was
everything
informative.
seem so amazing because that's their job. You know, their job is to sell the school to you. So it's like, yeah, you're getting information about it, but you're only getting the good parts of it. You're not getting the,
Yeah.
you know, the actual factual stuff, like, you know, what
Yeah.
really goes on. So, I mean, yeah, you get the information, but I mean.
I saw you shaking your head.
I honestly, I didn't like my orientation. I felt like, I can't remember how it went exactly, but I felt for the first 3 hours they had me playing games like I was a
Yeah.
5-year-old.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there like, why are they not walking me around the campus? And then they brought me into like the cinema, and this woman spoke for like 2 hours about being a family. Not even like, oh, we have the Bursar and that's for this. And then like, I felt like when I came here for my first day, I was pretty much on my own. Like I was like, okay, what is Cumble Hall and where is it?
Well, speaking of Cumble Hall, how familiar are you guys with the academic resources available on campus and in the offices?
Within the building of Humboldt?
Within, including Cumble and academic resources like the Writing Center.
Wow, if I had a bomb, I would blow up Humboldt. Sorry, I don't just want to take, but I would.
No,
It's
why
just
is
for
that?
us. It's just for us.
No, why is
I
that
would blow
though?
up Humboldt. There's a lot of reasons. Let me tell you
Because
why.
like the point we want to like understand like why these resources aren't good. And
Oh,
why
I'm
they're-
gonna tell you
yeah.
why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Bursar, the people who work there are all rude.
Yes.
And I feel like when you work with someone's money, you should not be rude. I'm sorry.
So you feel like
Too
as a
much bronzing.
student, you feel like as a student, the school should have better customer service.
Yeah, it's the fact that not only we're young adults, we're not full adults. I mean, some of us are, but most of us are not. Most of us are literally just turning 18 or like just getting out of high school. Like there's a lot you have to really talk to people, and I feel like they don't know how to do that. Registrar is a little bit better. They want to work with you. They want to help you out a little bit.
Okay.
They're like the yin to the yang of Bursar, honestly. And I'd rather speak to registrar than Bursar.
So your main concern with Cumble Hall is the customer service,
the customer
and
service
not
is terrible.
with the resources.
The
or-
resources, of course, they're beneficial because you have to survive. You have to go in that building in order to survive on this campus.
Yeah.
Everything you need is in that building.
What about for anyone academic career services? Like, does anyone utilize that? I mean, I know you're a senior.
I used to, honestly, but going in Cumble terrifies me so much to the point where I try to avoid it at all costs. So, like,
Why is that?
because I feel like the building is so small, but I feel like they don't speak to each other. Like, if you need something from one department, they'll send you here, they'll send you there. It's like, guys, don't you guys are like literally like feet away from each other.
Yeah.
Like, don't you guys communicate? And it's like, it drives you nuts.
So there's a lack of communication between the
Yeah,
departments.
between departments it's terrible. And I feel like, yeah, you know, you're an adult, you have to do this on your own, but it's like, everybody needs help sometimes. And I feel like they don't give you anything to go on. So like, even me going in Cumble to like go speak to an advisor or something, or go like get something I really need, I try to avoid it because I don't, like, the building gives me an eerie bad feeling. I just don't go in there.
What about this side of the room? Are we familiar with academic resources on campus?
I agree with her at the extent of like financial aid and the brochures. Like they kind of just think like you know what you're doing already, and it's like I've been like in one day I've been there like 3 times, basically just trying to figure out one thing, and then they'll send you to the next office and you'll ask them the same question. They'll give you a different answer that doesn't make enough sense to put everything together. But with the like counseling part, I've had very good experiences with the 2 counselors I've seen. They've been very informative and also helping me guide towards a career. It's not, well, you're focusing on your major, doing this for school. It's how's this major going to apply to a career.
I actually haven't really had much experience at all.
Don't go
I really haven't. So, I mean, I saw an advisor like in the beginning of the semester to make my schedule last semester, and now.
Now, why do you think that is, though? Is it because do you feel like it's not being communicated to you?
Yeah, I mean, I
or you
registered
just-
here and did not hear from anybody really. I just started on, like, luckily I have 2 friends who've been going here and they showed me around. I didn't know where any of the buildings were.
I didn't get my welcome packet until almost after a little bit over a month. After I
What
was in
exactly is
here.
the welcome packet?
That's a folder that tells you about
When you get admitted to school.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
do
I
you feel
never-
like there's like a lack of communication to the new students about like, you know?
Well, maybe if I had gone to get it, but I
Yeah.
never received anything.
Okay.
I feel like the only one of the only good things in that building though are the counselors and academic advising. Not the
Some
secretary,
of them.
but a lot of academic advisors. They are beneficial. They want to help you because some of them, not all of them, but some of them. No, the adult secretaries. The adult one. The adult one. Not you guys, the adult one. I mean, like, because you go in and you ask a question and they just, like, point.
Yeah.
They don't look in your face. They just point. But the advisors, you go in and you have concerns about your grades or concerns about your future realistic goals, and they want to work with you and give you ideas because a lot of them have been in the position that you have been in. So, I don't know. I think the counselors are a good asset if you use them. And if you create a bond, with your advisor where that he or she can't forget you, they typically don't.
So I know only 3 of you have been here since freshman year, but did any of you ever think about transferring out of post?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Why and why
So
didn't
3
you?
of the 6 of us thought about it?
Yep.
Okay. Can we speak about
Why did you think about transferring?
I didn't like it here. I felt like people were so rude, and you
Who were rude? The staff,
students. Like you get people in classes like you're like, oh, what did the teacher say? And they'll stare at you and be like, I don't know. Okay. Like I don't know. It wasn't like a nice feeling here. I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
So why did you stay?
Money is a big thing. Also, I don't know, I guess I met a couple of friends who or I met a couple of friends who I didn't want to leave, so I decided to stay. But now I like it.
Okay.
My freshman year, I did want to transfer. I loved my freshman year. I thought it was the best year of my life. It was great. Sophomore year came. And I was like, I met 3 amazing girls at the school, and I met them, ironically, during orientation. And these girls became some of the best friends of my life. And sophomore year, I sat them in the room. I said, can we all transfer, please? Like now. You all go on the computer and find a school to transfer to right now.
Why was that? Why?
At this point, it got to the point where I met people that I thought I liked, and I realized I didn't like them because they were fake or they were rude or they were just evil people. Like they weren't nice people to be around.
But why did you want to transfer? Why were you trying?
Because I wanted to transfer because I felt like I didn't like the environment that I was in at that time. I didn't like the teachers, the birds saw come was being rude. I didn't think that the people here, like the staff here, they weren't beneficial to me. Then I realized, okay, Aaron, maybe you're being a brat. Calm down a little bit, realize that you did want to come in for a reason. So at that point, I guess I felt like I was losing myself a little bit. That I guess the campus life was getting to me too much. So I had to sit myself down and realize, okay, you are here to enjoy yourself for the first year of your education.
Okay.
And I think that's what made me stay. The fact that I paid for my education, and these 3 girls who were my best friends, I stayed. And then, there's other people I didn't meet who played a part in it. So I realized, I do love my school. I just had a moment where I didn't want to be here anymore.
Okay. Thank you.
Post used to be like the one place I could just want to be at.
Your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, and then everything changed, and I started really feeling a resentment towards the school. Can we be honest on this? Like really honest?
Yes, you can be very honest.
Okay. I feel like with Post, I feel like depending on your major, you have completely different experiences about the school. And I feel like people that are in like broadcasting and like PR, they have really good feelings towards the school, and I feel like people who are more in sciences and stuff kind of like withdraw from the school.
Why do you think that is? Why is
Because
there
I feel like with PR and stuff, you have to do so much extra work towards your major that you have no choice but to feel, like
to get comfortable.
you have to attach yourself here somehow.
You feel like those majors get you more engaged into the campus?
Like with like sciences, you have your class and you go back to your room, and it's like, okay, you do homework, but it's like you don't do any extra work other than that. And I feel like Post, like, one of the main reasons why I want to transfer is that it's so expensive. And it's like, I feel like the money that we pay doesn't go towards my college experience. I feel like I pay so much and other colleges pay less, and I feel like their experiences are better. And I feel like...
So you feel like they could get a better value for your money?
Yes, and I feel like Post spends money on things that... Well, I feel this way because I feel like what they spend their money on, we really don't have any clue until it's happening. And I feel like as people who
are funding it, you know, why don't we know about these things till they're happening? I feel like, you know, I feel like the school should be a community, and we should be able to speak about
So would
these
you
things.
feel better if they invested in more things that contributed to campus life, like more activities and maybe another student center or something?
Yeah, I feel like things like decisions get made without students speaking about, like the people who actually have to like use these things, like let's say, like for instance in Hillwood, when they took out the little shop and put in a Starbucks. I feel like that was an administrative decision, and I mean, yes, I love Starbucks, yes, but it's like it would be nice to have a say because I have to live here, I have to go here, and it's like, why are decisions being made with my money that I don't know about till it happens? That's how I felt about Post, and I feel like they spend a lot of money on things like making the campus look pretty, instead of student things that, you know, would benefit us, and we have to go here. So yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned the student center. Student center. Hillwood. Oh, the student center. I do not think Hillwood is a student center. Let me explain. Because there are a lot of colleges who have a student center where there's no academic offices, there's nothing, there's just a student center. There's a food area, there's a place to hang out, there's computers, and it's on the resident side of campus as opposed to the academic side. And it's open later, whereas the residents and the commuters can stay together and just feel like, this is my place to hang out. This is where I can come and get away from my room and feel comfortable. Is to have, because we have, yes, the games in Hillwood, we have the eatery in Hillwood, yes, all that consists of student center. But then you have all these offices, administration who walks in there and they feel like this is their place to be. I feel like we need something to make us feel like we're one. Winning is food, but I feel like winning isn't comforting enough to say a student.
Does anyone else agree with this? Do they feel like there should be some sort of center more than what Hillwood is? Yeah. All right. If we could just go around the room, we'll start over here. Just really briefly say what you like most about the campus and what you like the least about the campus. So it could just be a simple one word or whatever. You know, you don't have to go on.
I like most about the campus so far has been like the professors. They're definitely like giving you their experience and they make classes very interesting. What I like least is definitely like going between financial aid and the virtual.
Yeah. Okay. Paul?
I really like the clubs and the stuff that the school offers to get you involved, but I really hate that the people in the offices at First Star and Financial Aid don't know what they're talking about, and it's unacceptable when you ask in an email, is this how it's done, to a financial advisor, and I get a response, I think. You should know.
Okay.
The favorite thing is my major and professors, and my least favorite thing is probably just like being the transfer, not having like that connection that other people already have.
So you feel a little isolated?
A little bit, yeah, because
Okay.
everyone knows each other already.
Okay.
My favorite thing would have to be the people I've met and what I've learned here, not academically, but like life-wise. Least favorite thing is most definitely 115% Kabul.
But my favorite thing about Post, I want to say, is the relationships I've built with various people that I've met. Not only my friends and fellow students. I mean, there are advisors and academic staff who I feel as though when I'm 30, if I email them, they'll still be able to contact me. So I value that. I value relationships with people. My least favorite thing, probably Kabul.
When you say that, you're talking about the lack of interconnection between the different...
The lack of personable people in Kabul.
Okay, so the customer service.
The customer service.
Okay.
I really like all the exposure I get to like with my area that I'm studying. I meet journalists, I meet TV producers, I meet, and I have had opportunities for some great internships And I feel like I get that more than my friends say they get at their schools. And I think
So
that's,
it provides you a lot of networking opportunities.
yeah, I think Post does a really good job with that stuff. And they always have, you know, those fairs and stuff. But I just like police would be Versar, as well as health, like you know how you fill out those health insurance waivers. Mine got lost, and now they say I owe $800. So I feel like they just aren't on top of like they don't answer emails, they don't answer phones. So that's the least.
Has anyone's social skills changed since they began college? Anybody?
I'm the most outgoing person you're ever going to meet in your entire life. Without a doubt. I'm the type of person who walks up to people and go, "Hi, Mara, what's your name?" That's me. It's kind of creepy, yes. But I enjoy meeting new people. Like, it brings me pleasure to meet new people because I like learning different aspects of people, where they're from, what their different personalities are. Like, I enjoy those things. But being here and realizing that you can't be nice to everyone. And the way I think is that everyone is a great person, so you get to know them and then change your perspective of them. And I think that's maybe my greatest asset, also my greatest downfall. But this semester, last semester, I realized I felt like I wasn't becoming such a people person anymore. I didn't want to go up to people and say, "Hi, I'm Ara." I didn't want to be out and hang out with people. I wanted to stay in my room. And that's simply not who I am. And I was like, wow, I think I'm becoming somebody new, or I'm losing myself, or maybe that's where I'm not. Maybe that's the bad word to say, losing myself, but I didn't feel like myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go out and be a part of my community anymore. I just wanted to go to class, go to my clubs, and go to my room.
What about you? Do you feel like Post has changed your social skills since you've been here so far?
Me? Definitely. I've gotten more involved and definitely more outgoing than say I was over the summer. Definitely a whole different person.
Okay.
Post is definitely attributed to that.
And how do you think that is? Just the activity?
The networking. Somebody mentioned it earlier. It's really strong at Post. You know, with the professors, with students, and alumni. That's really hard.
Marion?
I don't think I've changed that much. I think the only thing I've been put in these situations that I have to learn how to get over my anxiety about, which is presenting and talking to new people and stuff like that. So that's helped me. Yeah.
Teresa?
From going from one school to the next, I've changed because here, if you don't talk to people, you can basically sit by yourself, and then you're gonna be bored out of your mind. You have to push yourself to be more social. It's not you're gonna have your friends from high school that are gonna be at a community college with you. So it's definitely pushed me to be more social. To say what else am I gonna do?
That's true. Well, how important is it for you guys to be involved, whether it's on campus?
I think it's good for everybody. Just personally makes me feel better. Just
To be.
Yeah, just to be doing something productive.
And as a transfer student, how do you get your information about student activities that's going on?
I sometimes last semester I just saw a sign, and this semester mostly from my professor.
Anybody else? How important is it for you to be involved?
Being involved on campus, I think it's vital. It is. Especially if you want to enjoy your experience. But it's in the fact that you meet people at certain events. They can be fun events or they could be intellectual events. And then you realize there are people out there who's not in your major, but they have the same thought process as you. So like you said, there's a lot of networking going on, and it allows you to feel there's something you're not going to see in your classroom that you're going to see outside of your classroom. So if you go out to these different events or if you go to these different meetings, you feel a touch of neighborhood-ish. How in a neighborhood, you know how to keep neighborhood at home. We have community centers you can go to. We don't have that stuff on campus, so we have our clubs. And it gives you a sense of not being a outsider. It allows you to get your feel and I guess leave your mark at post.
How about for the senior? How is it important for you to be involved? Are you done?
I am over it all.
Yeah.
I am over it all. My senioritis has affected how I interact with people, how I act in the
Well, were you
classroom.
involved?
I used to be. I
Okay.
used to be really like NAACP. That used to be my club. I used to go to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was even thinking about being part of e-board. Then I grew up, and then I didn't want to do it anymore. And
So do you feel like the fact that you're less involved now has affected your feelings towards Post? Has changed them?
I feel like my feelings towards post affect why I'm not involved. It's like the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the feelings towards the people I've met and the way like my experiences have changed me. I don't really feel like it anymore. I'm not in the mood to do it anymore. Like I'm at the point where I'd rather stay in my room than go out and do something. Like she tries to force me all the time. I'd be like, I'm not going. Like, I'm just,
There's a lot of things that happen on post at least a year and a half that a lot of upperclassmen, they don't want to do anything. Like, there's been various fights. There's been a stabbing of one of our
friends.
Well, this brings up a good question. Do we feel like Post has good security, or how do we feel about security on campus? Do we feel safe?
Can I speak?
Yes,
about
go
this?
ahead.
Post is one of the places that doesn't have security where I do feel safe. Honestly, I really never thought that something like that would happen. And like, I mean, I actually appreciate public safety because I feel like if I see somebody walking around with like a real cop walking around all the time, I'm going to start to feel like something is going to happen now
Okay.
because it's going to raise my anxiety. Like, why is there a cop on
Yeah.
campus? Like, even when I see like a cop car patrol, everybody's first thought is what happened? Like,
Right.
what's going on? Public safety to me, I like the fact that post security is lax a little bit because it makes you feel more like it's home and it doesn't make you feel like you're
So
in prison.
you feel safe on campus?
Yes. That's why when the whole big thing happened, it was a shock to everybody because it's like, this doesn't happen at post.
Yeah.
It was like, this is post, like what's going on, like how can something like this happen here? So it was just a kind of, it was like a wake up call,
What
honestly.
big thing are you talking about?
Oh, well, one of our friends got stabbed here
Oh, okay.
in the
On
residence
campus?
hall. Yeah, 2
2
years
years
ago.
ago. But yeah, there was that's what I loved about Post, that it was comfortable. I didn't have to be afraid to walk around. Like, the only thing I was afraid of legit was the dark.
But now you feel afraid?
No, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. It was just that the feel of Post changed. I feel after that event, the feel of Post changed. A lot of upperclassmen felt as though this was their school anymore.
Mhm.
Something has changed now, where it's a little more like tarnished a bit.
Yeah, that's a good word.
It's been tarnished now. Like the Post was like a kingdom.
So do you think
Now
it was
it's-
kind of like a false veil that there was security, you thought, but then until the event
I
happened,
don't
now
think
you
it was
there
I don't think it
security.
was-
I'm
I
not
don't think
blaming
it was that.
security
No.
for it because
It's just
honestly,
an
when the event happened, public safety came immediately. It wasn't as though they didn't come. It wasn't that. It was just I feel like there's certain people who change the way Post is.
Mhm.
It's just I don't think it's the campus, like the people on campus, the people like security. It's the people on campus who made campus feel the way it is now. Like,
Yeah, I don't
so
blame-
being that
I don't
Iowa doesn't
blame
want to
them.
go out,
Okay.
I think it's because her envision of Post has changed. And me too, after that event, it was just like, maybe I was blinded by the beauty of
Okay.
Post or the things I thought Post
Yeah.
would be. And then at that point, I was like, wow, because after that stabbing happened, honestly, a lot of upperclassmen had sat us down and was like, it was very gloomy on campus.
Do you feel like if the campus had some kind of counselors intervene, that would have made the event, it would have
Yeah, I don't
helped
think-
a little bit?
I don't think, like,
No.
the mental health counselors that we have on campus, they aren't utilized at all.
A lot of people don't even know
A
about
lot of people
them.
don't
Yeah.
know that we even have that accessible to them.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole nursing, the whole
Yeah.
doctor thing downstairs, that's in downstairs in
Yeah.
health, a lot of people don't, yeah, there we go. The infirmary, a lot of people don't know about it. I feel like we should make the infirmary a little bit bigger, like, as
Uh-huh.
far as known on campus. Because
Okay.
there's so much that they do down there that nobody really knows about.
Okay, that's really important. What about this side of the room? Do we feel safe on campus?
I know you guys didn't know about
Yeah,
the
you guys
whole
didn't know
stabbing.
about it.
Yeah,
That
I
might
mean,
have just
coming from your
caught you off
perspective.
guard.
Yeah.
Well, he knows about the gun.
I heard about
Actually.
the stabbing because PTV just filmed the fashion show. That's where it happened, right?
It happened
Something
after
like
the
Well,
fashion show.
it happened after the fashion show. My freshman year, and right in the hall, it was like everybody's excited. Oh, one at a time, right? I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying, like, we don't really want to talk about the event. We just want to talk about, like, exactly, like,
Okay.
And
like
how to feel
about posts.
security.
But
Yeah, the security.
when I was looking at different colleges, Westbury had like a 10-15 minute lecture on how they have their own security and police force. And that was like, whoa,
Yeah.
why? Why?
Exactly.
Then I come here and it's like, okay, security, 3 minutes. A little bit, you know, safer group of people. And I feel safe. I only stick around like the academic side of campus. Like, I know stuff goes on the residential side. And I don't really go there, so.
So you have a different perspective being a commuter student versus the residential students here about safety.
Yeah, but
Okay.
even with safety and being on this side of the campus, I park over by streetlights. I don't park like,
Okay.
I don't know what goes on in the
Smart.
parking lot.
Yeah, see, I don't never really even thought about it just because I'm here till 3:30, so
Uh-huh.
like, nothing's really gonna happen.
Okay.
But like compared to Albany, it's nothing.
Okay, so
Albany's pretty dangerous.
Albany, you were more concerned about security versus posts.
Yes.
Okay.
Post is relatively safe though. Like I would hate,
It's the neighborhood.
I would
that's why.
hate having cops on campus. I would
Yeah.
hate because the security guard in my building, he knows my face.
So increasing
that's
security wouldn't resolve the
I
issue.
wouldn't like that. at
What
all.
would
at all.
resolve the issue for you? What do you think the post
Wait,
could
what
do?
issue exactly?
Like make, I don't know, like you say you feel safe, right?
I feel very
Yeah.
safe here.
But like
honestly.
maybe have more counselors for when things do happen.
Yeah, to make people feel not safe but feel comfortable. I think that's a better word.
More external resources.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how do you guys stay informed about campus activities, and how do you rate the quality of information that you receive?
On a scale of 1 to 1.
Like, not even like a scale, but how do you feel about like staying informed? Like whether it be
They-
flyers, social media.
Post is big on flyers, and I commend them. Post is big on flyers.
You find them effective?
However, no. However, I think people who put flyers up are extremely lazy because they only put them up in a minimum amount of places, or like they don't put them where they need to put the flyers, or they put them up too early and you see it, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to that,
Then you forget.
but then you forget. I feel as though they need to have something to advertise more. Like we had the Pioneer. The Pioneer doesn't really advertise anything. The Pioneer just talks about events that had happened already. And you were like, oh, I could have went to this. This was cool.
So you
That's
feel like
true.
they inform students, but not enough. Like they're not
They're
reminding.
They inform people too, which is great. But reminders are good. Like they should have like
So they
a
need to be more
something
persistent.
on the TV, like PTV, or something in Hillwood, like a daily announcement
a
or
lot of freshmen
something.
don't even know about the TV.
See, like I think we have resources, but we don't utilize them enough.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Do you guys feel the same way?
I agree with what she said about the newspaper. Like, you know, you hear like stuff that happened, or like when there was the 10-year thing for Pratt Hall. Found out about that afterwards. There was really nothing around campus about that. At least I noticed.
So everyone feels like they find out about the activities after they happen, and
And there's
not
definitely a lot of flyers, like
Mhm.
of stuff going on, but it's not like everything that you could do.
Well, what do you think are better ways that LIU Post could tell their students what's going on? Like what?
What would be the most effective?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
I mean, I feel like everybody's on social media now, and I feel like that should be a way. I mean, like when some clubs do their thing, they do like send out event invites on Facebook. I've seen ACP does that, NAACP does that. So it's like, you know, that's a good way to do it. But I feel like there's a difference between sending out an event thing and reminding somebody about the event, like, because I really will be like, oh, like the Harry Potter thing, they had like a whole series they're gonna show. Me and Aaron were like, we're gonna go. Then we forget because nobody else is speaking about it, and we're like, oh my god, we missed it, and we kept missing it over and over and over and over again. And that was like the last 2 movies of the series, and we're probably gonna forget. Or she's not even gonna be here, so it's like we missed the whole thing. So it's like nobody reminds anybody about anything unless it's like through a group where you have to go because you're in that group. It's like.
And do you think being social plays a good part? Because word of mouth is also a good way to get student
but honestly, then at word of mouth, it's like if you don't have friends who have the exact same interests as you, they're not going to talk about a flyer you saw and you're like, oh my god, that's cool. They're going to talk about other flyers that you may have seen. You remember those as opposed to that one single one, like Dumbledore's Army. A lot of my friends don't like Harry Potter, but I'm the ultimate Harry Potter fan. So for Dumbledore's Army, I'm like, oh, I just want to go to this. My friends don't remind me. If I don't write it down in my planner, it goes over my head. So, I mean, I would suggest my LIU, but personally, I don't check my LIU. So, I think Twitter and Facebook may be the only.
Well, did we know that we have a Facebook and Twitter for LIU posts?
But they only send out like campus.
Facebook.
They only send out like campus stuff. They don't send out like events for groups and stuff.
Okay, so they don't send out for events and groups.
They really
you think that would be
should,
better if
I
they
think
sent
that
out
would be
like
great.
separate, telling events that are going to happen about on the Twitter feed for LIU Post and the
I feel
Facebook
like
page.
when you look at the Facebook page for LIU Post, it's a bunch of boring stuff you really don't care about. Like, oh, they've changed the name of a tree on Chipmunk Trail. Like, it's like nobody cares. Like, I care about clubs and stuff that actually affects me. But
the Twitter LIU Post tweeted the other day like, oh, it's a beautiful day on campus. What are you doing?
Class. It's a day. School day.
I'm going to class. Or they say, like, take a picture of the front lawn. You don't want to take a picture of the front lawn. How about you have cameras out there?
Very uninteractive.
Yeah,
that's a word.
There's no interaction.
It works. Like, I like that the fact they're trying to be technical. What's the word? Technology savvy. Okay, there we go. That was great. Technology savvy, but they need a little bit more.
Right, Adrienne, what do you think? You've been quiet.
Well, I know you work for the Pioneer and the radio station. So how do you feel about those media outlets, like working for the radio station, Pioneer, Post TV? How do you feel about how they're run?
Well, the radio station is more news. It's not. I mean, if you ask them, they will run, an activity. But I don't think a lot of clubs really reach out to, because we don't know. You have to reach out to us, and a lot of clubs don't use that source. For the newspaper, I will have to say, don't tell anyone I said this.
It's just for us. You can say
But like, I will say that they do kind of slack in that area where they don't really, they don't really put what's out there. Like in their head, the most important thing is what happened. So that's what you see, and like, there's definitely been times where I
Not
go
what's happening.
Yeah, and there's been times myself where I've read the paper and I've been like, oh wow, there was a dance? I didn't know.
I actually sat in a Pioneer meeting one time, so I wanted to write for it. And I think they just talk about things that happen on campus, and then they like ask who wants to write about it. If no one volunteered, they don't write about it.
A lot of stuff gets left untouched because
no one wants to write about it.
And then that way, students are still not informed because there's only so much one staff writer can do. So, and it's hard to cover everything, and then you get a staff who
So I just didn't want to go back ever again.
I mean, there's gonna be a new president next year.
I made a suggestion because you guys have a relationship column, something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do a relationship column. I want to do like a kind of like a writing not Miss Cleo, but like writing column, something like that. Like like to get out there. Oh, I was writing today and I had
like an
like anonymous letter kind of thing.
An advice column.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they kind of shut my idea down. So that's sad.
They'd be open to that now if you wanted to come back and pitch it. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, people are pregnant too.
Oh.
And there's gonna be all new staff.
I wanted to do it. And the girl kind of shut my whole life down.
Was it this year or last year?
Last semester, actually.
Does anybody actually go on the Post website to find out what's happening? Like, how do you feel about how the website's
Like
set up?
LIU.edu?
Yeah.
No.
Is there any information on there that you find?
Why-
They do send out an email, like every Monday, they'll send out an email, like,
Like,
oh,
what's
here's
going
Post
on?
events. Can I show you guys
But
what this email said?
half the time that they send that email, there's activities that are happening, like, I'll get the email and it'll be like, oh, there's a meeting in 1 hour. I'm like, oh, that's great, let me plan to go to that
So
one.
they tell you too late.
It's way too late. They should send it out Sunday
The
night.
weekly should, or yeah, like maybe like do it over the weekend or the Monday before that week, so that you can like maybe work your schedule a little bit more for it.
Yeah, there's been times I haven't even gotten it on Monday, I'll get it like a Wednesday.
Right.
So like, I don't know who does that.
I don't even check it.
And a lot of people don't check their MyLIUs, right?
I
I mean, I
Because-
get it to my phone, but
Yeah,
they're never
that's-
saying anything that I care about, so I just
This thing
usually
is
just
annoying.
delete it.
And it runs so slow.
Yeah.
That's
Meredith,
another
what do you
thing.
think of the website?
I don't really use
You don't check it for activities or?
No.
I check it for the public relations to see what's going on and what we can do with the newspaper. Oh, that happened, let's write about it.
Okay, so you, for your student organization, you use the website, but as far as being a student yourself, you
It's
don't-
very outdated.
it's outdated.
Well, the
They
main
actually just
pages,
did.
but-
They actually just redid it. You should have saw how it looked before.
Yeah,
It was like running from like 1980. It was so
Do we
terrible.
feel it's stagnant? Do we feel it's not interactive, that's very stagnant?
I feel like they really tried and just
Failed.
didn't make it over like that. Like they just didn't make it. Oh, so about the LIU email, I actually found the one they sent today, and there is absolutely nothing about any clubs or anything on it. There's about 7 events on here, and it's all like LIU based.
Academic based.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with any clubs or anything.
And I feel like student life, maybe not LIU, maybe student life should send out an email. a
Should
weekly
student
email.
life should be a part of that instead
Because
of
all of these,
something about
all
what's
the
on
programs that
calendar.
happen on campus, student life has a semesterly calendar that they don't give out to anyone.
Right.
Like, they just don't give it out.
Just if you're on
If
the
you-
I just
if
try
you-
to keep it.
No, if you're on club esports, you can have it, but I feel as though students should have that too, so they can know what to look out for throughout the semester. Like student life, maybe they could be a little bit better at getting the word out too, because all these events go through student life, and student life approves it, so
Yeah, okay.
they should
So-
probably do
Do we feel that social media is probably the most helpful way in getting information out about campus activities?
the most effective
The
way.
most effective?
it. Maybe he'll wait, but he'll have to do anything.
What, like, I know, because I know as a transfer student, would social media be the best way
I would
for
say.
you to find out of what's happening on campus?
Okay, so for the final part, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of websites, and we're going to, college websites, and we're going to rate them and compare them to the LIU Post website. So if everyone could go up to the computers over here and slide your chair over.
Can we use Teams? We
Yeah.
only have 5, so
So,
somebody has to double
Pair
up.
up, yep. I have the sheets I gave you that you're going to be rating. Does everyone have a sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, guys?
You're going to pair up.
You want to write it down?
So, what was everybody's, well, we're just going to do like one. So Meredith, what was your overall impressions of the 4 websites collectively? Well, the 3 compared to Post.
I didn't like the last. I didn't like St. Louis. I thought it was too much information and it didn't present like very nice. Penn's looked very nice, but still was just a lot. I actually liked Post the best, and I don't think I'm being biased.
What ways was Penn nice, and what did you like about
The
Post?
Pen, when you click on it, the picture is very clear. It's big. It's like presentation.
Okay, so it's visually
Definitely.
captivating?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't think the information was that easy to find. Post, I don't know if I just know where everything is, but I thought it's pretty simple. All this stuff is on the side right there. It's clean, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Well, AJ, how easy was it for you to find student activity information on the website?
I felt that Penn and Post was the best. St. Louis, I had a hard time. I think it's because like I don't like when I click onto a website and they have so many different like headlines it's hard for me to just like focus. So St. Louis was the worst. And the other ones it was okay.
In terms of student activity information, which website did you like the best?
Post had a really good list of descriptions, but not any info on when they meet, who's running it, and any
So there
help
wasn't
for the
any
club.
like specifics or contact
Yeah, it just
information?
said what's offered, but not how you can get involved.
Okay.
Teresa, which one did you feel like did the best job as far as presenting the information?
I think Penn was like the most like it was easy to access everything. Like I think like the little like tabs that you could click on were like the easiest to get to. Post also like it's very like you're either going here or here. It's not like you could go any other way.
Ottawa, if you had access to this kind of information, website information, how would it affect your involvement in student activities?
I really don't think it'd make a difference, honestly, because on most of the websites I went to, they had like names of the clubs, but like he said, they didn't really tell you when they met or like how to get involved. And for you to have to go out and find stuff like about them, that would be a lot that you probably wouldn't be willing to do if the information wasn't readily accessible. So.
Okay.
Is that something that people who create the website should try to do?
I feel like they don't think about it, honestly.
But would that be helpful? Would it be helpful to have that kind of
I
contact
think so.
information?
Yeah.
Did any
Definitely.
of the websites have that?
No. Well, one.
Which one was
The St. Louis one, we found like emails and stuff for some clubs, but they didn't have like meeting information or anything. But I mean, even if you have the contact information, you could always email them and ask them like, when does your club meet? So that is helpful.
And which, if you could recommend one change to the CW Post website, what would you suggest?
Get rid of it. No, I'm joking.
Say more about that. What, you
I
were
was
joking.
joking. I was
I
joking.
know you were joking. But sometimes when you're joking, you're really not joking.
No, I was joking. No, I don't. Every school should have a website because the website, honestly, for incoming freshmen or those who are interested in the school, you need something. A lot of us are modern life. We like technology, so they're gonna go to the website to see the school. And when you first go to LIU, like .edu, as not clicking just post, it is pretty. Like you see the campuses, it is pretty. So I want to get rid of it because they need to get their see if they get an interview because a lot of I think there's something on campus that they interview kids before they get here, like plan or something like that. And I think you should have a background information about something before you go for an interview. So they shouldn't get rid of the thing, but to make it better, to modernize it, I think you should. If they modernize it a little bit more.
Modern.
No, today modern, not 5 years ago modern.
They changed it like a year ago. Do you remember how? If we speak about how how far it has come website-wise,
It's better.
the first website, you couldn't find anything without Googling it first. Like, you'd literally have to Google it and then click on a link before you found anything. It was so hard. I appreciate this website because first, it was really hard to find
it just means it's
anything.
better than it was before. Does not mean it
But
can't
I think
get
it,
better than it
I
is.
mean, I'm not saying it's the best, but I think it's pretty good, honestly.
To find
No, but I
information.
I think it's pretty good.
She asked me what do I think can be done to improve it.
Yeah, but you said make it modern, and it's already modern.
No.
Like,
All right.
so what can be done to improve it? What would you do?
Like it's pretty, but it's a little dull. It is. It's a little
So-
dull.
So
It's
do you feel like it's stagnant and it needs more like interactive
something,
features?
Yeah, something to make it pop. Pizzazz. That was a
Like
nice
you,
word.
because you all said wow when you looked at the Penn State one.
Yes.
It was
but then
so visually
because it was
appealing.
so vibrant and
Yeah, it
visual.
was
Post should
vibrant.
update their photos, not have students from 5 years ago on the homepage.
Right. True.
So you feel like it's outdated with the photos
Yeah.
and everything?
Thus, making it needs to be modern.
So what are our final thoughts on student activities at Post? To wrap it up, what do we think?
I think the activities are actually pretty cool, to be honest.
Could
Because
you elaborate on that?
we have activities that attract to every person.
Okay.
Like, they're very diverse.
Okay.
They're very engaging. You just have to find the ones that appeal the most to you. But I don't really have any complaints about the activities on campus.
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like, yes, I do agree. We have really good activities, and we have activities for every kind of person. But I feel like there's a disconnect between the students and faculty, just for the simple reason that I feel like the administration isn't involved in student life. I feel like they don't know what we want and they don't know what we need. And I feel like it's hardly ever, like, they have, like, meetings where, like, there'll be, like, maybe a couple of people from administration,
Yeah.
but I feel like they don't really ever go anywhere.
Well, how
honestly.
could we improve that? How could we get the students connected to the faculty so that they would know?
I don't know.
Well, we have town hall meetings twice a semester.
Okay.
And I feel like more students should come out to these town hall meetings because honestly, the provost, he is really willing to make things better for the students. He just needs to know.
So
what you
better
guys
student
want.
involvement?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that maybe if, since a lot of people have like opinions, like they should say, make mandatory like time or professors are handing out like the survey where they can actually fill it in like suggestions, and then the people who do go to the town hall meetings can be like bring up the suggestions, like the good
report on them.
suggestions that people have. You don't need to go through everything, but weed it out to give the good ones.
No, but everyone's invited to the town hall meetings. People
But not
just
everyone's
don't
gonna go.
Do you
Yeah.
think maybe the students don't know about these meetings, that if they're better informed?
The town hall meetings students know about because they're like looked at as something, a big event.
Don't
kind
say
of.
we know about them.
What?
I know.
Yeah,
I never had a
exactly.
town hall
Don't
meeting,
say
so
that.
So
You're
we-
involved. You know
I'm
about
sorry.
it. People don't know about them.
So
like
we
that.
don't know about it.
No, and
Okay.
also I think that too many people talking at a town hall meeting wouldn't even be good. So I think it would be good if they had like someone to speak on behalf of students.
They actually, the last one that I visited, they regulate it pretty well. They have you, like, you stand up and you get on the line and you voice your opinion, whether it's a good thing or it's positive or negative. I think that the town hall meetings are really beneficial.
I feel like, yes, I feel like town hall meetings are a great idea, but I feel like Post makes it, well, I'm going to speak from my own experience. Post makes it feel like what students want doesn't really matter, honestly. And I feel like they make me feel this way because decisions are made without us being
Knowing
involved.
first.
Yeah, and I feel like if I'm going here and you're not asking me, then why should I have to tell you what I want if it's not going to make any difference? You know what I mean?
What about the idea of having like a town hall webinar, like something you can watch online, like streamed to the LIU website that everybody could watch, and then maybe live tweet or text
Yeah.
or send their questions in or
That's
suggestions?
modern.
That's nice.
Would that be a good idea to have?
That's nice.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what maybe like a vote too for big decisions that students can maybe vote.
Yeah,
on.
we never vote on anything, honestly. They just vote.
Yeah.
So
Something.
voting
Doesn't
would help you
have to-
feel like you're
Like part of a decision. Yeah. It doesn't need to be
Yeah.
the final say, but a percentage of the say.
Yeah, like because I don't keep is mentioning Starbucks, but the Starbucks is done already. But we're getting a new like not football field, but they're gonna like renovate and get a new scoreboard.
No say.
No one asked
Nobody.
anything
Yeah.
about it. Granted, a lot of the funding for that is coming from donations, but still, then people. I live in Brookville. Brookville is right next to the Pride, which is right next to the football field. I'm gonna hear all of that renovation happening in my room. That's very unfortunate for me. I don't think I'm one like
So
that.
anyone else on post activities real quick?
Any final thoughts?
What was the question?
Just what we think
Final
about
thoughts
student
on
activities
student activities.
at post.
I think there's a lot offered. I don't think it's always publicized the best. Because there's been a lot of good activities that I've been to, and they've had probably like just a handful of people. Like yesterday was the fashion show, and I feel like there should have been a lot more people there. And a couple of people have mentioned how they didn't see a flyer or whatever, but I just feel like people need to really use like the radio, PTV, flyers. You can do announcements in Hillwood.
So it seems like the general consensus is that students need to be informed more so they're engaging in these activities.
Yeah, I think so. And I
Yeah.
think it would, it would close the gap between like commuters and residents, because commuters are informed too. They'll come out. I'm sure a lot of commuters would have came to the fashion show yesterday. If they
Yeah.
didn't know
about it. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely didn't
I
know
mean,
about
I worked
it.
hard on that thing.
Yeah.
Arab was a
Okay.
model.
What about on this side? Anything about student activities?
Any final thoughts?
Marketing what you're doing is very important, and that's something that really needs to be improved on. Like with the fashion show, they asked PTV to come film it like 4 days before it was happening.
Yes, they do that a lot.
Very little time to get people to go, and I think only one person went, and the production is not going to be up to par
Yeah, they
as
had
it
one
was.
angle the whole time.
And that could have been avoided if there was more communication and more marketing.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, with that, it's lack of communication within their e-board. That was their problem. They don't communicate with each other. So yeah.
Real quick to wrap it up, what do you think is the best way to just communicate to students? Just one thing, if you could just say
No,
it.
I don't think that communication was between the
Yeah.
students. I think that communication was between the e-board
Yeah.
and getting the show publicized.
Uh-huh.
Like that was their fault. I don't think it was the students, because you can't blame a student for not being somewhere when something wasn't publicized well enough.
Yeah.
Because this fashion show we've been practicing since January.
Yeah.
They have had time to do that. So I
Yeah.
blame the e-board.
Okay.
I think either email or like the website.
Email or website?
I also, no one really does the announcements in classes anymore. If you could ask the professor, you get a big lecture hall of
Okay.
kids who now know. You
Okay,
know?
that's great. So if faculty suggested these events or wrote them on the board, you
Or
feel-
if you have a student, like maybe it's just at Albany where like a student of a club would come in and just like the professor would let them come in for like a minute to just make an announcement to a whole lecture of people.
That's actually pretty cool.
I had a
Some
I
professors
had a
will look
professor
at you
that
like
did
a
that
crazy.
last semester. She would like say what was gonna happen, and like
And you found that
I
effective?
thought it was great because there's actually a couple things like the food for thought lectures, and I would go to them.
Okay,
So
that's
I
great.
thought that was. She would always come and she would hand out the flyer she got in her mailbox that day, and just be like, oh, there's this and this. And
What's a food for thought lecture?
food for thought is usually for media arts students. Well, anyone can go, but it's just like a person in like the media area. and
What
they
do you
come.
What do you think about those little TVs in the humanities hall that say the events and what's going on campus?
They
Effective?
say what's on your My LIU. They don't
Yeah.
say
it's-
anything like that
No.
you care about.
They should
Student
connect
life
with
involved.
PTV and, maybe run,
So-
oh, SGA is doing this, NAACP is doing this. That would be really helpful, I think.
And that big billboard when you're about to come in
Uh-huh.
to post only says the events on My LIU. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
nothing is really publicized, and like the groups, like everything that they're doing, even if it's a big event, like fashion show is considered a big event at Post, but a lot of people don't know about it, and it's not really much but like flyers and stuff. I feel like they should be more involved in trying to get the word out about things.
I just feel like within the big leadership programs like Student Life, Residence Life, Cumble Hall, Bursar, those big areas of post, things to communicate within each other, and I don't think they're doing that.
Okay.
That's why there's a lot of lack of publicity.
All right, well, thank you so
Thanks,
much,
guys,
everyone.
for
Your
coming.
answers have been very informative, and we really appreciate it.
We